You're not getting that when you buy it off of Amazon or
no. And I mean, truth be told, you go to Home Depot, you go to Lowe's, and you ask them about tools on the rack. They don't know anything,
They don't.
right?
Welcome to Off the Cut.
Dude, I haven't touched any wood in a long time.
And that's why it's covered in plastic.
Oh, man.
Some X-rated content there.
I don't care how long it is.
Thoroughly excited.
Great for the pocketbook, bad for the environment.
Oh, I'm number 3.
I like it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad we got the explicit out of the way early.
If I'm going to put money into this, it's going to be great. And I guarantee it.
Don't forget to spend your Burkel bucks.
That was super easy.
Bond is actually stronger than the wood itself. Did you know that? Get it! Welcome back to Off the Cut episode 184 for Tuesday, September 30th, 2025.
Ooh.
And Zach, I'm going to hand it over to the newest married man.
You guys want to check out the ring, or should I tell everybody about
nice. Shiny.
KMTools.com? Yeah, I'm actually wondering how scratched up this thing is going to get over, using round tools and stuff like that. I know gold's pretty soft.
Give it a week.
Yeah, still looking pretty good so far. You know what else looks good, though? Is KMTools.com, which is one of my favorite stores online not the only one, we'll get to that in a second, but it's one of my favorite stores to shop online because every single thing on KMTools.com is either made by Jonathan and his team, or it's stuff that they actually use in their workshops. So just a bunch of cheap crap that they can get the best margins on. And you get to feel good about shopping at KM Tools because every portion of every single sale goes to support the KM Cats Moses Woodworkers with Disabilities Fund. Sorry, guys, it's been a long week. I'm a little out of it. And in addition to putting tools in the hands of people who need them, he also gives us $50 every single month to give away to one lucky patron. So if you want to join our Patreon and get access to the after show, the bonus show, and potentially our monthly BYOC call, head over to patreon.com/offthecutpodcast. And I will now turn it over to you, Eric, for our new sponsor.
Yes, yeah, we've got a new sponsor. This podcast is also sponsored by Gorilla Glue. You know how it goes in the shop. You spend hours measuring, cutting, sanding, getting everything dialed in. The last thing we want is for a project to fall apart because the glue didn't hold.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where Gorilla Wood Glue comes in. Doesn't foam up. It cleans up easy just with water and dries to a natural color so it blends right in. Plus, the strength is no joke. The bond is actually stronger than the wood itself. Did you know that?
I did know that. And I just wanted to quickly interject. I was going over the offer letter and the contract for this while I was in the shop the other day. And I looked over on my counter. And there was 4 bottles of Gorilla Glue, wood glue there. And I was like, this is kismet. One of them was so old that it was like completely sun bleached. So I was like, I won't take a picture of this, but I'll grab a shot of the other ones to show the patrons.
Hey, and while we're at it, I actually picked up some Gorilla wood filler this weekend while I was installing the trim along my new front door.
Did not know you made that.
It's great. Gets the job done. It's sand smooth, takes stain and paint like a champ. I can tell you that because I painted mine.
Heck yeah.
And it leaves the project looking professional every single time. And at the end of the day, Gorilla products are strong enough for the pros, simple enough for simpletons like me. And no matter what you're building, every bond is built by you, backed by Gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
Strong like a gorilla.
Yeah. Sure. Well, hey, we also, everybody's like, wait, what happened? What happened to Bill Burkel at WTV Woodworking? Well, don't you worry. Not only is he the sponsor of this podcast, he's actually with us tonight.
Bill,
thanks for joining us, man.
What's up, boys?
Yes, we are very excited to have you in the studio tonight. That's an online
I'm glad to be here.
No, we're very excited to have you here tonight because not only are you a sponsor of the podcast, which we greatly appreciate, but you're also launching a woodworking store that's both online and physical. And we got a lot of questions about what that process was like for you. Because that's crazy. Not even a huge undertaking to me.
Yeah, it'll be a year, October 20. Well, technically the 26th of October will be 1 year.
Wow.
So I guess one question I have right off the bat is, what were you doing before WTB, and what made you want to pivot and start your own business like this?
So I actually have a glass and glazing company. That's like my,
Okay.
if you want to call it day job, that's my
Yeah.
day job. That is becoming my side gig, and WTB is now becoming my almost full time day job.
Funny how that
But
happens.
I started, we had started this business in my garage, believe it or not, with an Etsy store, with
Okay.
a
Oh,
X carve inventable CNC and
Mhm.
making signs and plaques in my garage, and we killed it. I mean, we don't do much on Etsy now because we have this, but when we were on Etsy, I mean, we did, I don't know, and we did enough to pay off the CNC in like 4 or 5 weeks. We were killing it.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Was it mostly custom stuff? Like people would send you designs and you would print them yourself, or would it be had a couple like stock things that people really liked?
So we started with just some generic signs and plaques that my wife thought were cute, different
Mhm.
ideas she had, and I made them, to whatever she liked, and then she painted them. We put them up and sell them. And then as we were doing that, one customer reached out and said, "Could you make this puzzle piece picture frame? Because this company doesn't exist anymore." And I
Oh.
said, "Well, I can't make that one, but I can make my own
Yeah.
and, make it work for our system." So I made like, I don't know, 10 different versions of this puzzle piece, different configurations or whatever. And it just hit. Like,
Huh.
we sold
Huh.
thousands of them in
Wow. Cool.
weeks. And that's what put us on the map. And then once that happened, my wife's like, "We're selling all these pieces, but like, I don't feel like we're making enough money." And I'm like, "We're not really. I mean, you sell a piece for $19 on Etsy, you got to ship it for free. You
right.
got the cost of the wood, the time to make it. You're not really making
Yeah.
much. What are you making $5 on
Etsy
a
takes like
plaque?
20% too.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous."
Ugh.
So I said, she goes, "Well, how can we make more money?" I said, "Well, to make more money, we got to find a way to get the wood cheaper."
Right.
Right? Because I was just going to Home Depot like everybody else, buying a board of poplar, a board of oak, or whatever we
Mhm.
needed. She goes, "Well, how do we do that?" So we started looking around, looking at the options. We started like everybody else. We got a Alaskan, chainsaw mill, was milling up logs in the driveway. So this piles of lumber we're stacking up, and she goes, "What are you going to do with it?" I said, "I'm going to put it in the backyard, probably sit for a year or two until it's dry." And right away, she's like, "No, no, that's not going to happen. We got
Not
to do
my
something different."
patio.
Yeah. So because I had the glass business, I already had space at a warehouse in Huntington Valley. And just at that time when we were doing that, another unit opened up. So I said, why don't I take that unit and I'll put the wood in there for now and let it, we'll blow fans over it, let it dry, and we'll figure out, what to do with it later. But at least it's not in our backyard and it's drying and we can
Yeah.
do something with it. She goes, "Yeah, but you still can't use it for 2 years, right? Or a year, depending." I said, "Yeah, depending on thickness." So she goes, "You got to do something so that you can start making money with it now, figure it out." I said, "Well, I could build a kiln or we could buy one."
Mhm.
And I started looking well, obviously by the store, you could tell I don't do anything half-assed. Like if I do it, it's all the way in.
Yeah.
So I started looking at building a kiln. And if I was to build one, it would have to be like commercial grade when I'm done. Like I wouldn't make it just to be some,
Yeah.
you know,
You don't want a
pile of
hobbyist.
Use it
plywood in the
once a
corner
year and
with a
then
fan in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So we started looking at the iDry system, and I think at that time the iDries were 60 grand, maybe 55 or 60,000. And I said the right way to do it is either we build it right or we buy it right.
Right.
And I said if we build it, it's still going to take months for it to dry because
Oh,
it's going to be a dehumidifying kiln. If we buy the iDry, it might be anywhere from a couple weeks to a month, and the load would be dry. So we went back and forth and hemmed and hawed about it, and we bought the iDry.
Wow. It's a big
And
investment.
I skipped because we went from the Alaskan chainsaw mill to a Norwood HD 36 lumber mill in that time frame too. We had looked at that, and in the line of work that I'm in, I don't normally get a tax return. Normally, I owe a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for whatever reason, this particular year, my accountant made a mistake in my favor, and we ended up overpaying. And the
Oh.
refund that we got was enough to basically buy a Norwood. So my wife's like, just go buy the Norwood. We weren't planning on having this money anyway. So we got the Norwood, and then after that, we bought the iDry, and we rolled into the iDry.
So this is all in service of trying to decrease your material costs in order to support your Etsy
Right,
store.
increase my debt to decrease my material cost.
Yes.
Did it decrease your material cost?
Yeah,
But-
Deric, you got a good point. Did you decrease your material costs?
Actually, I'm not sure that I did, because now I have all this. I think it really went up by like astronomical amounts.
Sure.
But I think the choices that we made at the time, I still stand by them. I think there was the right choices to do, because we were now able to produce lumber, not just for what we were doing for Etsy, but now I had excess of lumber. So now we were able to start selling it at a retail level. So this is about 2018, 2019, right before COVID. We started selling lumber at the retail level, which was the sweet spot, because it was COVID. We didn't know it was right around the corner.
Yeah.
And when COVID hit, I mean,
True.
I was selling slabs like everybody else. We were just blowing them out. And, so that was the start of everything. And like I said, it started in the garage, and it just kind of expanded on its own. It wasn't, if you asked me in 2018, if I was going to have a full retail showroom with, all the tools that I have, I would have told you you're nuts. It wasn't the thought that we had.
So first major retail product is the wood slabs, which, by the way, you can still get at WTBwoodworking.com, right? You have a full inventory that's available on there.
Yeah, the slabs, we use a piece of software for that called Trace. Cambium Carbon. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
No, I haven't.
But as we're milling at the mill, we can photograph it as it's coming off the mill, measure it, size it, put the species in, put photographs of the tree that it came from, location it came from, and it all gets like documented in there. And as soon as we mill it, it's live on our website. You can see it. Might not be dry yet, but you can see the slab, and you can put a hold on it if that's one that you wanted.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so if I see something that I really like come through, like it's new inventory, if I were to put a hold on that, I might have to wait like a couple weeks or a month or something like that for it to be dry.
Yeah, to the next kiln load. We put it in for you on the next kiln load.
I think there's a whole nother meaning to the word farm to table. Like that's farm to making a table.
So where are you sourcing most of the wood from? Is it on your own property, or you got connections?
Well, initially it was. We probably took down, not because I wanted to make lumber. They needed to come down because they were destroying things on the property. Whatever we take down, trust me, I put it back. But we initially started with logs that were on, trees that were on my property that we took down, turned them into things. But like tree guys in our area, I don't know if it's this way everywhere, but they have to pay to throw wood away. Right? It's not free for them to do that. So domestic stuff, maple, cherry, ash, all the domestic stuff outside of walnut and right now white oak, I can get it for free all day long.
Wow. So you just talk to different arborists and stuff like that?
I have a couple guys that I work with, and they know what I like. They know the size logs we like and the, how we like them cut.
Yeah.
And they'll call me up. So if they get something really sweet looking, they'll say, hey, I got this or that. And then they'll bring it over to me.
Oh, so they even bring it to you.
Oh, yeah, because they have to pay to throw it away.
Yeah.
Saves the money.
So it's a lot cheaper just to drop it in my yard and not have to deal with it than to pay to go throw it away. That's why if you, like, I don't know where it is, where you guys live, but where we live, all the tree guys always have mountains of logs stacked up in their yard because they don't want to pay to throw it away.
I have seen quite a bit of that. So basically, I mean, I don't want to give away too many trade secrets here, but it's kind of sounds to me like at least the material side, the input is free.
Yeah, but that's just the beginning of it, Zach. Like if you think about it, the wood's free.
That's not lost on me that there's a lot
like
that
building
happens
with
between.
It's free.
But once you have that log, right, you have to either mill it into boards or mill it into beams. There's a value of labor that it takes to get it just off the pile onto the mill and then mill it and then go from that into the kiln. I can tell you that our kiln, if it's running all month long, which a lot of times when we put a kiln load in, if it's right from the mill right to the kiln, it will take a month to dry it. I mean, you're looking at an astronomical electric bill because it's all electric. right?
Is the iDry, is it electric? Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's fully
Okay.
electric. It's got 2 heater
Interesting.
elements in it. So what we do a lot, can't do it with white oak, can't do it with for any of the oaks. Anything but oaks, we'll go from the mill sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes go from the mill right into the kiln. But when we do that, we have to go in what they call low power mode. So we'll only turn on one element and slowly build up the temperature. It'll never get above 130, and it'll
Okay.
take a week or two to get to 130. And
Wow.
then once we get it to 130, we'll watch the moisture content in the kiln, take some readings. Once we get the lumber that's in there down to 25% or less, then we'll kick it up into high power mode and we'll bake it at 160. And that could take anywhere from a week or 2 weeks, depending on how much lumber's in there, what thickness it is, to get it up to 160.
And
Once we get it at 160, it'll stay there for at least 3 days so that we can kill everything, mold, bugs, everything. And we'll get the rest of the bound water out.
So that slow roll where you do lower temperature for the first couple of weeks, is that in an effort to keep it from warping and twisting?
Yeah, because if we heat it up too fast, especially like cherry loves to just twist and turn.
Okay.
But if we heat it up too fast, then what'll happen is you'll get a lot of cracking at the end, which we still get cracking. It's always going to happen. But I mean, like significant cracks, like 3 foot into your slab or whatever. So we have to, do that slow warm up to get the free water, right? So I don't know if you know, but in a log, you have bound water and you have free water. Free water is the water that when you mill it, and if you were to stand it on end, there'd be a puddle at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
That's all the free water, just literally draining out of the straws of the wood. The bound water is it's at the molecular level, right? It's deep into the wood.
Okay.
And that's when we heat it up to 160 under vacuum, it actually causes that water to boil and release from the wood itself.
Very cool. Very cool. I had no idea. I'm so ignorant to the whole. I've heard kiln dry my entire life, basically, but I've never actually got into the nuts and bolts of what the process is like. That's very cool.
Pretty cool. It was a little bit of a learning curve. Trust me, I screwed up a lot of lumber when we first started. Because it's like a recipe, right? You got to get the recipe for that species, like cherry. I would throw cherry in with everything else, not thinking it was going to be an issue. And then the next thing you know, it's I think my headphones just died.
Yeah.
It goes in.
We lost you there, Bill. When you took your AirPods out. Let's see.
Give it a second.
See if it reconnects.
Sorry, everybody at home. We're experiencing technical difficulties right now.
It's all good. Oh wait, hold on. Until it got muted. All right, try it again.
How about that?
Yeah,
There
we're good.
Right.
Sometimes when you unplug a headphone and the software,
they died on me.
It's all good.
Classic AirPods. Mine always die on me too.
So anyway, so you have the bound water and the free water. The free water comes out at a lower temperature. The bound water, we boil it out, and then it's done.
I see.
But in the beginning, like cherry's brutal. We were warping cherry, and I couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, I'm just cooking it too fast.
Yeah.
And that's just a little bit of a learning curve, right? Like when we were milling, in the beginning, I was just milling. Like, let's just cut it here, let's cut it there, and then really wasn't paying attention to grain and stuff like that. And you have to really pay attention to all that when you're flat sawing. Like, what's the best way to position the log to get the best yield, the best grain appearance out of it, things like that. But they're the things that you learn as you're going along.
Is there any relationship between the density of the wood? Like, do harder woods take longer, or is it just kind of species dependent and there's no real rhyme or reason to it?
So I don't do any pine because I don't want to get the pine cook on my saw blades.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do any real soft. The softest stuff that I do is poplar, and that dries just fine. We do a lot of white oak. We do a lot of walnut. We do a lot of maple, ambrosia maple, spalted maple. I just got 2 logs the end of last week, red maples. That'll be the first time I've actually done red maple.
Wow.
But those species like walnut and maples and stuff, like I do it all the time. I'll go right from the mill right to the kiln. The red oaks, because of the way the red oak and the white oak, because I'm sure you've handled the oak and you see how it splinters. Mm-hmm. Well, that characteristic of the wood makes it crack real easy if we go and put it even in low power mode in the kiln. So we have to let that we have to let that air dry for a while on its own, and then go into the kiln in low power mode, then go to high power mode.
Okay.
So
Does
with
the
the
kiln run off like 3-phase? Like it's got to be a pretty significant, electrical power.
It's really ours does run off a 3-phase because that is how my building's wired. But you could get it and put it in your garage and run it off a 220.
Oh, really? Okay,
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah,
but I would assume if you want, you're going to want to run it on whatever the most efficient power delivery system is, right? Because you're basically just burning electricity all day long with that.
Yeah. That's why on 3-phase it's probably a little more efficient than on 220, and it even but it's still significant. Like it still raises that electric bill up. But
do you think that's the most significant cost input when it comes to processing the wood? Just like the electricity to dry it all out?
It's the electricity is probably equal to the labor it takes to load and unload the kiln. You got milling, right?
Yeah.
You can mill a log in an hour, but it takes like 6 logs to put into the kiln. And after you have 6 logs of lumber, trust me, that's a lot of friggin' lumber that you're going to be moving around and stacking on that kiln. And unfortunately, the way our setup is, I can't drive my fork truck and load the kiln. I have to kind of push the material in and then hand load it. There's no way to I can't get a fork truck in front of the kiln, the infeed side of the kiln, to drop a whole load on there. So it sucks, but that's the only way. So we have to hand load and hand unload. And once it's dry, we can use the fork truck to move it around, put them on the fork truck and move it around. But it all has to be hand done. So there's a lot of labor in that side. So I would say that it's probably equal labor to electricity. Once it's in the kiln, you don't have to do anything. I just check check measurements and readings and see where we're at.
Wow.
But once it's the moving it that is the most probably.
Yeah. I mean, it's big, it's heavy, it takes up space, right? I get it.
I've got to know. Do you have a Bill's secret stash where like you mill something and you're like, not a chance this is going on retail?
There used to be. I can tell you that.
You got too much.
But when you have as much as I have now, it's like, it's nice, but it's not. I got one over there. It's the same. It's just as good,
I got I have slabs in my secret stash.
Yeah, I haven't done a full woodworking project. It's been years that I've done a project for myself.
You're a businessman now,
right?
I do a lot of stuff for other people, but I only do bits and pieces of it. Maybe I do the design side, or I program the CNC, or I do that. And then I have the guy that runs our shop is Carl. Carl he's a great mechanic and does some really nice stuff. And he'll take my designs and make them all come to life. And, we'll talk about how to put them together and what tools to use. But unfortunately, I don't. And I just had a conversation with Cheryl, my wife. I said that I really got to get back into the shop. I miss it so badly. I haven't. I got all these tools. I got tools I never even had before, and I can't use them because I'm never in the shop.
So before we get off of the kiln dried stuff, I got one question. The kiln dried is so efficient at drying it out, right? Is there any benefit then to air drying it, or is the kiln dry just like the best way to go?
Well, like in walnut, a lot of people like air dried walnut better than kiln dried walnut because the color degrades a little bit. You're pulling out the moisture's being pulled out so quickly. You're pulling out some of those tannins. And you're losing some of that dark walnut color. It becomes a little bit lighter. Okay. A lot of people will like air dried walnut better than kiln dried walnut. But as far as I'm concerned, I think I actually like the kiln dried better. I think it has a warmer appearance, and I prefer it. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people like air dried.
Interesting.
Do you offer any air dried stuff? Like, do you have like a special air dried section that
No,
it's like it's
too much hassle.
We do a lot in a very small footprint. The property that I just bought is only a little bit above an acre, and most of it's taken up by the building, right? So the building has 8 units in it. Each unit is about 1,600 square feet. So the whole building's not gigantic. The whole thing's only like 13,000 square or something like that. So each space and the wood shop is its own unique space. It's not connected to the store in any way. It's its own entity because I don't want people going into that area.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so it's hard to have a stack of it's got to all go in the wood showroom. You know what I mean? And then once it's in there, it's hard to distinguish between what's going to be air dried and kiln dried anyway. And then kiln dried takes a month. Air dry is going to take 2 years at
Right.
2 inches thick. So it's just I don't have the space. I mean, we have to mill it, or I prefer to keep it in log form until we're ready to actually do something with it because it's just much easier to deal with because it's one
Yeah.
piece that you're picking up instead of 20.
Can you kiln dry like a log and then mill it?
I mean, I guess theoretically you could, but I don't know how well all the wooders going to pull out.
Yeah, I guess you need the space between the pieces in order to pull it out of the core and stuff like that.
And then the other thing that we do is when we stack it on the there's like a sled, right? That you stack all the slabs on. The sled goes in and out of the kiln. When we put it on that sled, we have to strap it down. So there's like these big, they look like trampoline springs, but industrial strength. Like they're like huge. And we put straps across the pile, 3 or 4 down, and pull all that tension out of the spring so that the straps are very tight. Pull the whole load down as tight as it can to the trolley that it's on. And the reason for that is because as the moisture comes out, right, the material's shrinking. And it's wants to twist. So by putting all that pressure and having those springs on there, it kind of keeps tension downward the whole time that it's in the kiln. So it's helping with that twisting that occasionally happens. That was one of the things that we learned with Cherry, that we had to really do it. Like if we didn't put those straps on, I mean, it would come out like a potato chip. It didn't matter how much was on top.
Huh.
So
And these springs are like, I don't know, a foot, maybe 15 inches when they're stretched all the way out. And when at the end of the load, they'll be almost all the way back and they'll be down to like 8 inches. So they really, really put a lot of pressure downward.
that's impressive. Like, so you started in Etsy. Then you're like, I got to save money, right? I'm going to start milling my own lumber. Now, at what point did you say, I should sell this? Did you just have way too much for you?
Right after we got the eye dry,
okay.
That was a quick realization that we can produce too much that we're never going to use.
Sure.
And to justify having the eye dry and the mill and all that stuff, like we needed now to move some lumber.
And were
Another source
you
of revenue.
early on? Were you doing that online as well, or was it just strictly retail?
No, it was all word of mouth. Believe it or not.
Oh wow! Okay.
The best advertising.
Yeah.
You guys remember MLCS? They changed their name to H Valley Tools.
MLCF sounds familiar. I remember they're like saw blades and router bits, I think.
Router bits and pen blanks and things like that. And then they had a woodworker showroom, a small one, that was kind of entry level to mid level kind of stuff. They were right around the corner from us. They're only 2 miles away. And they would send me customers because I knew those folks for a long time. And they would send me guys that were looking for lumber that didn't have a place to go get it. So we had that. And then once somebody came and saw what we have, then the word just spread.
Right. Everybody tells
shit
everyone.
like I do now. Like now everybody knows because it's all over everything, right? It's all over Instagram, Facebook, and every print ad in the area. It's all over. But back in those days, because we had the lumber, people were asking us to make projects, different things, whatever, a kitchen or a floating shelf or shot flights, whatever. We make anything. And I didn't want people really coming into the showroom, into the work area. You know what I mean? Sure. We were selling lumber out of there, but not to the level we are today. I mean, we never pushed it like that. And that's really why we started the showroom, because I wanted to sell more lumber. I wanted to get some exotics. I had lines on, all the like Purple Hearts and the Padukes and the Zebra Woods and all that stuff, but I had no space for it. We were already tripping over ourselves in the one unit that we had. And a year ago, about somewhere's around probably last summer around July, I said to Cheryl, I said, listen, I think we got to stop selling wood.
Hmm.
And she said, why? I said, because we have so much woodworking going on that the space that the wood's physically taking up, I need it. I need it to build things. I need bigger equipment, more tools. And I don't think it's justifiable. Like we were probably making $2,000, $3,000 a month selling lumber. It wasn't a lot of money, and compared to the projects that we were pumping out.
Sure.
So to have people come in, interrupt us from doing what we were doing, to go ahead and browse the wood that we had. Then I had to get this 12'6", 30-inch wide slab from the back of the building around all the wood projects, out the garage door, load it in the truck. I'm like, it's not worth it.
Right.
But she's like, we spent all this money. We got the mill. We got the kiln. She goes, you sure? I'm like, well, maybe we don't keep it in there anymore. Maybe we take over another space.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were having that conversation, as it always seems to happen, another space in the building that I was renting at the time opened up.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what do you think? Should we take it? It's available September 1st. And we went back and forth. We decided to do it. I said, I can't justify just putting the wood in there. If we're going to do it, then let's do it. Let's do.
Sure.
We had MLCS or H Valley Tools is selling the low level, entry level tools to mid level. Let's start at mid level to high end.
Right.
That every YouTuber's using. The stuff that I like. I mean, I personally have a very large Fez tool collection, and I had it before I was ever a dealer.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's the right tool to use for what I was doing. I said, if we're going to do this, if I got to get Fez tool, saw stop, and shaper. If I can get those three, everybody else will fall in line.
The trifecta.
Right.
And I said, if I can get those three, I know I can get everybody else.
Yeah.
That's what we started to do. And before I signed for the lease in September, early in July, I started having a conversation with Fez tool and saw stop kind of at the same time and said, this is what I want to do. What do you think? Will you sell to me? And at first they looked at me and thought I was nuts. Like I never had to retail anything like this. And I said, yeah, but wait a minute. I've been selling wood and projects for a long time. I have some little bit of a following. I have a lot of woodworkers that come to me. Don't count me out yet. Like, let me show you the numbers a little bit. You know what I mean? And saw stop was a lot easier. Saw stop, they were looking for somebody in the area because the closest place to Philly was an hour one way or an hour the other. And they kind of wanted somebody a lot closer. So the rep for Saw Stop says, well, if you can meet the order and you can do your, get all your financing, your paperwork, and we can get you approved for a line with Saw Stop, we'll sell to you. And that we did. And that was easy. And around the same time, I think I had 2, maybe 3 meetings with Fez Tool before I got the yes. Actually, I had 3 meetings, got a verbal, we think so, but didn't have a solid yes until about a month before we were opening the store.
That's so funny. I think most people would assume, you open a store, you ring up Festool and you say, hey, I want 100 Capexes, send them over.
Nope.
I don't know that most people know that it's this courting process where you have to kind of prove to them that you're worthy of selling their product.
Even up until maybe 6 months ago, I think Festool was still on the fence.
Yeah.
We opened up, they said yes, and we moved forward with them. But when we opened up, we had a really good opening. And then we got through the holiday real quick. So it was October. And then once you're through the holiday, you have a couple good months in the beginning of the year, and then you run right into spring. And you know what happens as soon as it's spring? Nobody's going out into their garage anymore. They're all doing yard work, or they're all going down the shore, doing their vacations, and they're starting to do their it's too hot to work in the garage. So we did really good for probably 4 months, and then it kind of slowed down a little bit. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. In the middle of the summer, it just took off again, and we've been really doing well with Fez Tool and everybody, actually.
That's awesome.
And I just talked to my rep the other day, and we went from where we started. Beginning of the year, we actually jumped up, like there's tiers.
Yeah.
And we were kind of started at one tier, and we jumped up one at the beginning of 2025. and it looks like we'll jump up another one for 2026.
For you.
So yeah, we're doing pretty good with them. I would say Fez Tool, I think, is for sure our number one selling product in the store and online. But real quick, I mean, SawStop's catching up to them quickly. Believe it or not, we saw a lot of lamello. It's not anywhere near what Fez Tool is, but it's a good amount of lamello.
Yeah.
Taking putting Keith out of business.
Yeah, taking all those sales from Keith.
I got to thank him for it because he's the one who hooked me up. If he didn't hook me up, I would never had it. And honestly, that's interesting you say that, because I said to Keith, "Are you sure you want me to sell lamello?" Like, he's only an hour and a half away, and technically I'm in his backyard. You know what I mean, for what it is. I said, you sure you want me to sell lamello? He goes, "Bill, my stuff's all online. People seeing me from online. Like, I'm not having anybody walking up and buying something from me."
Right.
So that he hooked me up with that, and it is one of our highest selling tools in the store. And after
awesome.
SawStop.
It's just so interesting.
Probably number one.
I'm sorry, which was number one?
Lumber's probably number one right now.
That's
funny because you were considering like killing that, like canning that, stopping selling lumber.
Now I'll say this: lumber, not slabs. Slabs, almost done. Matter of fact, we're having a tremendous sale on slabs at the 1 year anniversary. We're going to blow them out. 50% off anything that's in the store. If it's inside the store, 50% off, because I just want to bring in more of the stuff that we have outside. I can't bring anything in.
Right.
Oh.
So the lumber that you have that you're selling, are you milling that as well?
For a little bit, we were. So the domestic stuff, we were. None of the exotics we never did, right? The exotics, we bring it out, like 2 or 3 different vendors that we can get them from. But the domestic stuff, like the maple, the ash, the walnuts, the oaks, that stuff we were milling for a little bit, and then I couldn't keep up.
Sure.
Not that I couldn't keep up. Maybe it's the wrong way to say it. I didn't have enough time in the day as Bill Burkel and Cheryl Burkel to mill enough logs to produce the amount of lumber that we were selling, and also dry it and stack it and do everything we had to do. But what we did just do, which I'm hoping we're going to be able to do demos at the 1 year anniversary. You had to see Dusty Lumber, right? On
Yeah.
That guy's like huge.
Yeah.
Because of him, I bought a turbo sawmill.
Oh
wow.
When I saw that video and I had the Stewart, that's the mill I need, because I could pump out lumber straight up boards and beams so much faster with that.
Wow.
And you can pay attention to the grain that's in the log so that you can kind of get some rift and cooler sawing out of it while you're doing it. So we did buy one of those, and it's in Atlanta right now. It landed, it was on a boat from New Zealand. It landed in Atlanta last week, and I'm hoping it's here the end of this week or early next. I'm hoping it's here in time and set up that we can do demos on that at the 1 year anniversary.
So, sorry, excuse my ignorance here, but do you run your mill inside or is it outside?
No, we run it outside.
Okay.
It runs on gas, so I don't want to run that inside.
Yeah.
But it is a shit ton of dust, man.
Well, that's what I was wondering. But then also, you're in the Northeast, so it's going to get cold pretty soon too.
Yeah, but our winters up here now are like, you're good till November, man. And then November, even end of November. Like last year at Thanksgiving, I think it was like 65 degrees.
Yeah, we're shorts to Thanksgiving last year. Because I'm in Ohio, so
you're not that far over.
No.
Yeah.
I'm telling you should come down for the 1 year thing, dude.
I know. I'm thinking about it. I just don't know if I can.
That offer still stands, man. I'm telling you.
I know. You're a generous man.
That goes for any of us. If you want to come down, we'll find a spot, man. Don't come down.
I just have to go there and bust Keith the whole time. From hell. But so I find it so interesting because I think everyone views folks like yourself, Katz Moses, any other people who are running stores who have a big presence in this. They're like, oh, must be nice. You just kind of started this, and then like a month or two later, here you are. It's like, no, this was years and years and years of work. Like
to get to where we are right now. I mean, I'm 10 years in, right? We started in 2015 in my garage, right? So we're 10 years in. And honestly, like the vision that I have for the store I'm 5 years away from what I would say it's done. Like
Sure.
if you guys come down, or if anybody comes to the 1 year anniversary, you're going to walk into my store. You're gonna be like, holy shit, this is nice. And it is nice. I do it the right way, but I'm not done. Like I bought the building with the intention to modularly grow as I need to. We really would like to do classes. It's one of the probably most requested thing that we get is classes. And I would like to do that. I would like I want to get in. I don't have any veneers. I don't have any veneering supplies. I've never done that, and I want to.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point now that if I want to do it, the best way to do it is to buy it wholesale and retail it, so that I can learn how to do it as I'm going, so that I can talk intelligently to the people as they come in. And it's all good. The one thing I can tell you is that when you come to my spot, or if you call the phone number that's on the website, it goes to my cell phone, dude. I'm answering it.
Yeah.
Nobody else is answering their cell phone for any. You're not calling the owner of Woodcraft and he's going to answer the phone. I will answer the phone and I will help you. And if I don't have it and I can't help you, I'll tell you where I would get it from and who's got it for the best price. Because I just want you to come back the next time. And when you need something I do have, come back and see me.
That's right.
You know?
So
service.
I'm curious. So, you have this impressive storefront, you have the whole retail operation, you got a warehouse, then you're also running the online store.
Mm-hmm.
What's the split? Talk to me about the split. Is it 50% online, 50% in person, or?
Oh, Zach, the online is it's a great thing and a horrible thing at the same time.
Okay.
Because of people,
shipping,
right?
Because of people, and not because of the people that are actually a woodworker. It's the people that aren't and are doing fraudulent shit. And and I'll hit you with this one. So about 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago, our online sales were really going up, and thankfully, most of it was legit. So I don't want you to think that I got killed. But we did have about, 6 or 8 that were fraudulent.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know how deep you want to get. Our website is through Square, right? Okay. And the reason why we use Square goes all the way back to that piece of software I told you about, Trace. Trace only works with Square. So my hands were kind of tied with Trace already. So I went with Square. And then when I opened up the store, the retail store, Square has retail point of sale. So it kind of all connected.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Great. Perfect. Don't you think that Square, when you set up their store or website, should say, hey, by the way, maybe you might want to look at the security on your credit card transactions. And we recommend you should turn on these 5 rules. They only turn on 2 rules.
Oh, interesting.
And I guess it's well known in the underworld, or whatever you want to call it, that Square
if you're somebody who builds these websites all day, every day, or whatever,
right?
Or you're just you're a professional scammer. I guess they probably trade tips back and forth.
These scammers know that if you can find a Square website that's relatively new, there is a boatload that you can do on there that can get through. And for example, Square does not turn on by default that if the CVV on the back of the card doesn't match the real CVV, don't let it go through. That's a rule you have to turn on.
Wow. Isn't that basic logic?
Isn't that the point of the CVV, is that it must match the physical card?
Isn't the point of them collecting the transaction fee that they're kind of earning it? You know what I mean?
Right.
You would think I'm on a Square website. I'm using Square to process all my credit cards. I'm paying them 2.9 or 2.89 or whatever it is. Percent that they would screen this, because I'm sure they don't want to give back their money as much as I don't want to.
No.
Yeah.
But they don't.
I have a feeling it's you the one that's giving back the money, not them.
They don't there is zero sympathy from Square.
No liability from them.
There's zero sympathy from the credit card companies. They don't care. Their client who got stolen from, they're going to protect them. They don't care about us.
Right. Yeah.
So listen to this. We had $4,000 worth of, or maybe more, maybe $5,000 worth of fraudulent charges that got through. We learned our lesson and did our homework and started diving in and fixed all the loopholes that they can get around. But we already shipped $5,000 worth of fraud
Yeah.
charges.
Yeah.
Now,
So
imagine $5,000 of Fez tool, because it seems to be all Fez tool, gets shipped to wherever. People go and steal it off the front porch or wherever they send it to.
yeah,
Then 2 or 3 or 4 weeks later, the person whose credit card was stolen says, hey, I didn't buy that.
I see.
Credit card company now takes it back. So I shipped $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Credit card company goes to my bank account, takes out $5,000,
Mm-hmm.
and then Bill still has to replace the inventory worth $5,000.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's $15,000 that they get
Oh my God.
on $5,000 of fraudulent charges.
Wow. So this is primarily people stealing somebody's credit card, hacking it, somehow getting the credit card number, and then making a purchase with it, and then
Here's another rule that should be common sense, right? If the billing address for the credit card doesn't match the credit card, it shouldn't
Yeah.
get through. I mean, that's common sense, right?
Yeah.
Now, you have to turn that one on. That's not defaulted.
wow.
So
It's so funny too, because sometimes I'll go to like buy something, and as a consumer, I guess it's because other places have their website set up so tightly. But I'll get, like I'll try and buy something, and I'll get a text message that I had to verify with my bank. I had to,
Yeah.
it's like a 3-step process. I have to put it in.
well, that is now turned on ours.
Yeah.
So we initially went and turned on all these rules, and then what you're talking about, Zach, is called 3DS,
Okay.
and it costs you like 0.5% more or something like that, but it does exactly what you're saying. So when somebody goes to our website now, they purchase whatever they're going to purchase, whatever way you have it set up on your credit card. Either you're going to get an email or a text message or something. Until you verify that, it's not going to allow it to go through,
Mm-hmm.
which is great for me. I think it sucks for the customer now that we have
Adds
to do all
friction.
this, right?
Yeah.
It adds
It adds
another
friction.
step that I hate buying from there because it takes so much longer to check
Yeah.
out and things like that. But I had no choice. Who could take a $15,000 hit every 6 weeks?
Right.
I mean,
And I mean, especially early on, you said this was when you first set up the online store, right? Or early on.
no, we were good for up until about 6, maybe 8, 10 weeks ago. It's when it
Okay.
happened.
Okay.
Now we fixed it, right? The 3DS solved that problem, but we're still gun shy. Every online transaction that we get, even till today, I call the phone number,
Yeah.
talk to somebody, verify.
Yeah.
So it not only you're doing the 3DS, but you're getting the BBS. Because it's just, who could take that? I can't take
Yeah.
that.
Right.
No, I sympathize. That's crazy.
You're not alone. I get that on my website as well, and I sell obviously a hell of a lot smaller volume of stuff and lower price point. I get it even on digital stuff. Like somebody buys plans. I never bought this. Luckily I don't have a cost of goods sold other than, like money I sank into making it. But it's still it drives you nuts when you know that people are taking advantage of you.
Yeah, it's so annoying. And you guys don't know me, but I'm like a straight shooter, right? I always try to do everything the right way. I never try to get over on anybody. I always try to, because I truly believe in karma. It's a bitch and it's going to come back to kick you in the ass. And I don't want to get kicked. So
And
I try.
integrity.
I try to do everything the right way all the time. And when all that was happening, that so many other things were happening in the background with other things. We were trying to settle on the building at the time.
Yeah.
And we were just I just felt like every time I turned around, I was getting another kick to the head. It was just getting brutal.
But it's reassuring as much as it sucks. It's reassuring to know that I think everybody in their business always has these day-to-day struggles that just grind your gears. And unfortunately, it sucks. It is kind of part of doing business. And you're not on an island if this stuff is happening to you. It's happening to everyone in their business.
Definitely.
Which sucks though.
It does. The other side of that coin is people that come to me and shop with me in store. I can't really do it much online because I don't have that interaction. But when they're in store, those guys walk in, my wife knows who they are. I know who they are. Carl knows who they are. My daughter's learning who they are. We get to know them.
Right.
We know what you're building. We know if you're making cutting boards or if you're doing cabinets or, we learn who you are and we try to help you. And as we get things in that I know, like so-and-so is going to want, this thing because I know this is what he does, we try to show it to you and show you what's going on, show you the latest things that we got coming in. I mean, we try to learn about the people.
Yeah. And that's a dying art because no store does that.
No. The biggest comment that we get outside of asking for classes, because everybody wants us to do classes, the other comment that we get is it is so nice to be able to walk into a place, pick it up, feel it, touch it, talk to somebody about it, find out. Like if you listen, I bought 90% of my Fez tool off of Amazon.
Right.
I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't know that when you buy the domino that you probably need to buy some dominoes with it.
With all the different size cutters and everything.
Right. And all the different size cutters and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what the accessories are or what maybe something else you might want with the domino, or if it's somebody new to Fez tool, like I don't want them to jump into something that they're not ready to do. Like I would rather not sell them that tool and tell them to start here and do this. Like maybe you should get a dust collector and a sander first. Then you have that. It's part of the system, right? Like now you can add to that system. You can add a domino. You can add a track saw. You can add, another sander or a Rotex or whatever. But kind of, I try to tell everybody like Fez tool's a system. It starts with dust collection and then you add to that.
Right.
You're not getting that when you buy it off of Amazon or
no. And I mean, truth be told, you go to Home Depot, you go to Lowe's, and you ask them about tools on the rack. They don't know anything.
They don't.
Right? Yeah.
And the tool that's on the shelf has been there for 15 years. Half the buttons are broken on it. It's chained up, so all you can do is lift it up 2 inches. You can actually hold it or feel like.
I mean, you come into our place, I get there's no chains. You can pick up everything. We can show you. I mean, we go as far as to go down to the wood shop. If somebody's interested in a saw stop, I'll let them go run the saw stop that's in the garage, in the shed, cool. in the thing. They can go use it. They can see it. We have, the slide table on our saw stop. Nobody gets to see that often, but they can come down and see it.
I've thought about that slide. Yeah, if I could try that slide table out in person, it might convince me to actually buy one.
I would never buy it unless I could try it.
Yeah.
That's one of those things.
I'm going to be honest with you. I love it. My biggest mistake on that is I didn't get the big one. I got the smaller one. And I would tell anybody that's buying it, if you can afford it, buy the bigger one. Because the bigger one, you could drop a full sheet on there and push it through your table saw. On the smaller one, it's only like 30-something inches. And it's, I just wish that I would have went with the bigger one.
Well, did you see this? Joe Welsh commented in. He said, first time at Bill's as grand opening. 3 months later, I came in to buy a Festool ETS. I'm assuming the sander. And he steered me to the right tool and remembered my name as soon as I walked in. You don't get that places, man.
No, you definitely do not.
Joe's a good guy. He's not that far from me. He stops by he was actually here. We did that Shaper Roadshow a week ago Friday, and he was here for that. He came by and stopped by for
that. Bench pilot's something.
I wish I could. I was here, and I wish I could have seen it, but we were so busy that day that I didn't even get to play. Which is counterproductive for me, but it was a good day overall for the store, and we had 70 people come through that day.
Wow, nice.
Sounds like you need an assistant or something.
Well, we do. I mean, I don't want you to think it's just me. I mean, my wife's here full time, and she worked for the government, so now she don't have a job, so she's here, and she's a great, amazing help. She really is. I have Carl in the wood shop that helps. My daughters help me out. My son is around. I have 4 girls and 4 boys, so they do help. So at the 1 year anniversary, like I got an army that's going to be here, and they're all my family.
That's
so,
awesome.
That's awesome.
So tell them. Well, first of all, tell them about the giveaway you got going on. Tell them about the 1 year anniversary party you're throwing.
Yeah.
So this is I'm really pushing this. I really want to see 300 people come by and listen. You don't even need to buy anything. Just come down. I'll give you a burger and some water or soda or something. Come hang out. We're going to do, I haven't formulated a formal schedule yet, but I think we're going to try to do like Saw Stop will be here that day. So we're going to try to do a couple demos, throw a hot dog through the blade and see if it's right. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to definitely do some milling that day, both on the bandsaw mill and hopefully on the turbo saw mill.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be cool. We'll schedule a couple of those throughout the day. We have tons of stuff that the vendors are giving us that we're going to be able to give away throughout the day. Boss Dog Wood Glue's giving us. I know you got Gorilla, but Boss Dog.
It's all good.
Boss Dog's giving us a couple packages to give away, which it's like one of every one of his products.
Very cool.
Nick's a great guy.
Yeah, we had him on the podcast not too long ago, actually.
I love the glue. We stopped using the other brands. We're only using Boss Dog in our shop now. It's all we use. We have SawStop has given us a really nice package, right? They've given us the Revolution miter gauge. I know everybody wants to know what's in the Sustainer because I didn't put it in anything, so nobody knows. In the Sustainer, you get a saw blade. You get one of their saw blades. You get one of their shop aprons, and then the Sustainer's got some foam in there that you can set up, and cut out and put whatever you want in the Sustainer.
Okay, very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's cool. And then they threw in a one of their hoodies. So that's the big package. But I'm really excited. Fuji Spray was supposed to be here that day, and they bailed out on me because of a conflict with the dates, and they felt really guilty. So they sent me a Mini Mite 5, and they said, do with it whatever you want. So I said to Cheryl, like, I don't want to kind of overpower the SawStop giveaway that day. So I don't want to have like 2 free giveaways, like big ones. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I don't want to take away the SawStop's package.
Right.
But I had this Mini Mite. Like, what am I going to do with it? So I reached out to Jonathan Katz Moses, KM Tools, and I said, hey, dude, why don't we do a raffle that day? And all the proceeds of that, let's give to your charity. Let's do that.
Wow.
Nice.
So we're going to do a raffle that day. Unfortunately, I think you're going to have to be here to do it because I don't want to get through the logistics of trying to figure out how to do that online. And then get fraudulent charges when I'm done. You know what I mean? But so if you're here, we're going to do $5 a ticket, 3 for $10, and all of that is just going to go right to Jonathan and go right to woodworkers with disabilities.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Not only is that cool that, you're supporting this charity, but it's nice to see, in theory, 2 competitors working together. That's really cool, man.
I've been begging Jonathan to sell me his stuff since I opened the store. He keeps telling me no.
I was going to
I'm
ask.
trying to wear him down, but he's not. And
He's
listen,
a soft touch. Just keep working on him.
I get it. He's got a vision of what he wants for his thing, and he doesn't see it in a retail store. And I get it. I mean, I can appreciate that. I mean, so we have that. I think 18 of our vendors are going to be here, or reps are going to be here. For example, we're going to have SawStop, Fez Tool. You guys would like this because you haven't seen it. Maffel's going to be here.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Maffel will be here. We're going to have who else? Oh, Target Coatings, one of our newer brands that I don't even have in the store, but they're going to be here. Target Coatings will be here. Craig, Whiteside, Tenaru. I know there's many more. I think there's 15 or 18 of them. They're all going to be here. They're all going to be set up, talking about their product. We're going to be giving away food all day long. Come hang out, get a burger, dogs, whatever. My son's an amazing cook, and he will be doing burgers and dogs. But last year, I think he did a brisket, and he did, I don't know, he does all kinds of stuff. And I just give him some cash, and he makes sure that everybody can eat. What else we do?
A burger.
That's going to be one busy Saturday for you, Bill.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I do. Cause I just love being in that element. I love talking to people. I love in woodworking. I love talking tools, but when I'm done, I know I'm going to be burnt. That's going to be a long day, man. That's going to be.
That's
I'm
all
the
right.
same way when I go to like events like that. Like if we go to like a workbench con or some sort of like big like meetup thing, like I have a blast chatting with everybody, but afterwards I'm like, I just need to be alone for like 10 minutes and no quiet, no talking.
I think that at the end of the day, between everything that's going to happen, I hope that we have a really good turnout. I hope the weather's well, and that we do good for Jonathan. I really like to give him a nice chunk of change for that.
Yeah.
And it's not even, like it draws attention to the store. I'm not gonna lie, it gives me attention,
Sure.
and that's great. But I really want to do it because there's nothing in our area that you can go and talk to somebody. Like you can go talk to the small stop guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
That doesn't happen down here. It used to, but it doesn't happen anymore. So last year when we opened, I think we had 120, 125 people come by.
That's huge, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year we're hoping for at least 300.
Nice.
Well,
I mean,
Hopefully, don't sell
free
out of wood.
You know,
Right.
free event. You get free food. I mean, what else do you need?
You're you're putting together a pretty attractive offer there. Well, we'll do our best to keep letting people know about it every week up until.
And when was that again? Because I'm
That's
looking
going to
on
be
your
October
calendar. I don't see it there.
25th from 9 a.m. to 3. And our address is 390 Pike Road in Huntington Valley. And it's Huntington, not Dunn. I know everybody, you and Keith, like to make fun of my town that I am in.
It's spelled with a D, Bill.
It is. I agree, but that's not how they pronounce it, or at least not that. And it's going to be pretty cool. I know Keith's coming. I think I convinced Eric Curtis to come back and hang out.
Very cool.
And then I'm sure Mary Sy will tag along. She was here for the Shaper thing that day too.
Huh.
And Joe's usually here. It should be pretty good. We had a pretty good turnout the first year. I'm sure it's going to be at least double that this year. I'm hoping for 300. I think that'll be amazing.
Nice. So,
You know what I want? I want it to be so big that the township comes to me and says, you can't
Please
do it
come.
like this. Yeah.
You need a permit to do it next year.
Yeah.
You need
I
a
want
fire
that.
truck to pull up
team
and shut
show
you
up.
down.
Yeah.
It's gonna,
So, I want it
Bill
to
will
be
shut me
that big.
down.
Yeah.
That'd be successful, though, right?
Yeah, it would be.
Now, listen, I got more questions for you, but
Okay.
I think we save some of these questions that we have for our after show. Go
Good
over
ones.
to Patreon and talk about that. So, Bill, huge shout out. Thank you so much for supporting the show, supporting
Yes,
other
absolutely.
woodworkers, and joining us tonight on our episode, man.
Anytime, man. It's my pleasure. It really is. I enjoy listening to you guys, and I would support you anyway, even if I didn't have the store. So
Fantastic. Thank you, brother. We appreciate it.
Well, everybody else, thanks so much for listening. We will catch you next week. And if you want, join us over at the patreon.com/offcut podcast if you want to join the after show. But if not, we'll catch you next week.
See you, everybody.
See you around.
see you.
I'm going to give a huge shout out to our returning top tier patrons:
Corey Duvall at Woodcraft and Honey.
Josh at Sawdust Builds,
Joe Welsh at Delaware Valley Workshop.
Goblin Spanker,
You can't say that anymore. Bill Burkel, WTV Woodworking.
Dadu said, yeah, buddy.
Building Creative.
Bailey Thompson.
Zach, to be honest with you, I don't even know if I follow you.
Bingo bango, you're done.
You should stop.